Have you noticed how weird it feels? Other people's phones vibrate all day, texts, BBQ and vite, coffee, group hangouts, birthdays, happy hour, and you. Nothing. Quiet as a church on an early morning. Then that voice in your head starts talking. Something must be wrong with me. I'm hard to be around. I'm failing. Stop. Pause. Don't sentence yourself that fast. In America, people are great at networking. They're also great at empty connections. They meet, laugh, shake hands, talk about the weather, gas prices, football, then go home and live separate lives. A long contact list, but when you need someone who truly listens, silence. So if you have fewer friends, maybe you're not lacking, maybe you're filtering, maybe you're growing up, maybe you're done with relationships whose only purpose is to kill time and chase that cheap feeling of I'm still noticed. Here's the uncomfortable truth. A lot of people can't stand being alone. They don't need friends because they love people. They need friends because they fear silence. Because if they sit still, they hear themselves. They look at their own life. And they have to face the question, am I living a meaningful life or just staying busy? But you, if you can handle quiet that isn't weakness, that's inner strength. You might think, yeah, but I still feel lonely. Fair. Loneliness is real, but loneliness isn't always the enemy. Sometimes it's a signal. You no longer fit shallow circles. You're tired of fake laughs. You want real. You want depth. You want quality. And in this video, I'm going to give you 4 new ways to see it. Why the older you get, the higher your standards become, the fewer friends you keep, and why that can be one of the clearest signs you're building a stronger life. Try to remember the last time you wanted a serious conversation about health, about money, about your kids, about a major decision, about the fear you don't tell anyone. You get a few sentences in, and the other person pivots to someone else's drama, or tells a pointless story, or laughs it off and changes the subject. And suddenly, you feel out of place. That's not because you're weird. It's because you're living on a different level. Here's a truth about middle age. You don't have time for nonsense anymore. You work all week. You deal with the mortgage, insurance, bills, health, kids, marriage. Your mind is heavy. So you're not interested in conversations like who hates who got divorced, who bought a new car, who got promoted, who talked trash about who. Shallow people prefer shallow water because it's easy to swim there. No thinking, no responsibility, just fun. But if you crave depth, you'll realize many circles were never your home. And that's why you have fewer friends. Yet society loves to label it. Having fewer friends is a problem. Wrong. The problem isn't fewer friends. The problem is forcing yourself to stay around people who aren't on your wavelength. Real relationships cost something: honesty, time, respect, keeping your word. Just to have someone, relationships are cheap. A few emojis, a few jokes, a few meetups. Which one are you choosing? If you've ever felt like you don't fit empty conversations, that's a good sign. It means you don't want to live on the surface anymore. You don't want to skim. You want to reach the bottom. You want to understand people, life, and yourself. And that makes you rare. Rare people can't fit in everywhere. Not because you're less attractive, but because you refuse to discount your presence. Why are so many people in America constantly busy? Work, then happy hour, then game night, then group chat, then scrolling TikTok, then Netflix playing in the background. They can't tolerate silence, because silence does something terrifying. It pulls the curtain down and forces them to look at real life. When you're alone, you hear the questions you've been avoiding all year. Am I living the right life? Am I actually healthy? Am I happy in my marriage? Am I chasing something that was never mine? People get scared, so they run into crowds. But you, if you can sit alone without breaking, congratulations. You have something most people don't, the ability to anchor yourself. Loneliness is like a gym. At first, it hurts. Your mind gets restless. You pick up your phone, then put it down. You want someone to text you. You want someone to pull you out of that empty feeling. But if you stay with it long enough, you get stronger. You start to separate what's real need from what's just a noise addiction. You start listening to your body. You start hearing your thoughts. You start adjusting your life little by little. You sleep better. You eat better. You exercise. You read. You walk. You garden. You take your health seriously again. And most importantly, you start respecting yourself. Middle age demands that, because if you can't anchor yourself, you'll depend on other people to feel okay. And dependence always has a price. You have to please. You have to bend. You have to fake it. You have to fit in. But when you're strong from the inside, you don't need a crowd to feel valuable. You become calm. And calm people attract the right people, not quantity, quality. Loneliness isn't a sentence. It's training. And the more you train, the freer you become. Imagine 2 tables. Table number 1, 0 people. Loud voices, loud laughter, debating who's right, who's wrong, bragging achievements, throwing subtle shots. And when everyone goes home, they all feel drained. Table #2, just 2 people. Less talk, but real talk. Silence isn't awkward. You don't have to perform. Which table would you choose? At this age, you don't lack acquaintances. You lack safe people. Safe to tell the truth. Safe to be vulnerable. Safe to not always be fine. A good friend isn't someone who's always fun. A good friend is someone who makes you feel I can be myself and still be respected. A lot of people chase numbers because they think numbers equal value. But numbers are just noise. It's like having 5,000 followers, but no one calls to check on you when you're in the hospital. It's like having 50 birthday wishes, but no one knows you're losing sleep worrying about medication costs. Quality is what saves you. So if you have fewer friends, maybe you're doing it right. You're stopping the maintenance of rootless connections. You're refusing to be everyone's emotional caretaker. You're refusing to play the role of the always available one. And here's the viral but true part. Don't be sad about a short contact list. Ask yourself, does anyone on that list actually make me better? Does anyone help me feel calmer? Or are most of them relationships that exhaust me? One loyal friend is worth more than 100 casual connections. And if you don't have that person yet, fine. Better to wait for the right one than cling to the wrong ones. Do you know why so many middle-aged people in America can have tons of friends and still feel lonely? Because they're trying to force something that can't be forced, the right kind of friendship. They want it to arrive fast, like ordering from Amazon. But friendship isn't a 2-day delivery item. It's seasonal. It's like farming. Flowers don't bloom in winter. Fruit doesn't ripen in a week. And the right people don't show up just because you feel empty. The more you try to pull the wrong people into your life, the more you pay with your energy. You'll have to fake smiles, fake interest, fake being fine. Then you go home and think, what did I just do? Here's the truth. You can't control who understands you, who stays, who values you. But you can control something more important. Do you live by your standards? If your standards are clear, respect, honesty, no drama, real conversations, no backstabbing, you become an automatic filter. Wrong people fall off on their own. Right people are the ones who remain. And this quiet phase you're in, it's not failure. It's the phase after filtering, before growth. Most people do the opposite. They dim their light to fit the crowd. They talk less so they won't seem different. They laugh more so they won't feel out of place. They pretend to enjoy stupid talk just to belong. Result people around them, but nobody truly knows them. And that's loneliness in a crowd, the worst kind. So if you have fewer friends right now, maybe life is giving you a rare chance to stand firm in silence, so the right people can see you as you are. Real friendship doesn't come because you chase it. It comes because you live real. Live kin. Live clear, and the right people recognize it. Right season. Right people will come. No discounting yourself. No begging. No acting. Let's end the confusion with one sentence. Having fewer friends isn't the problem. The problem is whether you're trying to buy belonging by trading away yourself. And in middle age, that's the dumbest trade you can make. You've lived long enough to know this. Knowing people doesn't mean you have real friends. Having people to hang out with doesn't mean you have people who stand beside you when you're tired. Getting comments doesn't mean anyone is actually listening. A lot of relationships are just noise, and noise doesn't feed the soul. So if your life feels quiet right now, don't assume you're failing. Maybe you're entering a phase only people with standards can handle, the phase of less, but real. The phase where you stop chasing invitations, stop chasing groups, stop chasing attention, and start building what lasts: your health, your discipline, your inner peace, and a circle that's actually decent. I'll say it straight. Plenty of people hit 50 and still can't be alone without panicking. They have to cling to others to feel valuable. But if you're learning to stay calm in silence, you're winning a game most people lose. And when you win that game, you'll notice something. The right people start showing up naturally. Not loud, not flashy, but solid. They won't make you perform. They won't make you shrink. They come to walk with you, not to fill a hole. CTA, keep the vibe. If you made it this far, comment, I value quality over quantity. And tell me which season you're in right now: filtering people, learning to be alone, or waiting for the right ones. If you want me to continue this Practical Stoicism for Middle-Aged Americans series, friends, family, co-workers, boundaries, respect, comment next.